What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you one of the best coverage defenses in Madden 19. This is another one of those defenses where you're going to have, the maximum amount of coverage on the field for the most part. You're going to get pretty good block shedding from the defensive line, and it's just one of those types of defenses that are kind of difficult for maybe the average person online to go up against, or even someone that's kind of good at the game, because it's a little bit unpredictable, how fast the block sheds and the pressure can get to you, but you also have a good coverage. It's also unique and something not a lot of players are really used to going against, I guess you could say. So we're going to be in the 4-6 normal formation today, and the play we want to look at is the cover 2 invert. Now, I'm sure most of you know about this or have seen this over the past few years. This has been one of my favorite defensive plays in the game for, probably since like Madden 16, I want to say. Cover 2 invert and cover 3 is also really good as well, but the cover 2 invert it's unique in the sense that it's not something that people typically practice against. This year it's not something that people are running crazy. Like last couple years, people were running this a lot. Not so much this year, not too much, but people know it when they see it because it has been popular in years past. So it kind of just gives you a different type of look. And what I like to do is I like to take this mid-read guy and I want to put him in a deep third. Now, sometimes you can leave him in the mid-read. There's nothing wrong with that if you want to mix it up. But I like to kind of put him in a deep third and kind of make this like an inverted cover 3. So to do that, you press A or X, and then you go left on the left stick for inside third, and then it does that. So, and then I like to kind of bring him down here by the linebackers. So it's kind of looking like almost like a 4-5, if you will. You got the 4 defensive linemen, and then you've got like what looks like 5 linebackers essentially, but you have a couple safeties in there. And then all we have to do after that is spread the D-line, LB or L1 up on the left stick, and then crash the D-line down, LB or L1 down on the right stick. So you spread them and you crash them down. Now, that's like a regular base setup. We have cloud flats on the field. If you're worried about someone hitting you to the hard flats, you could always shade underneath. That's up to you. So like here, for instance, we'll give up the flat. So you see like James White's open to the flat, and you see how quickly the block shed happens. Now, yes, practice mode block shed is usually always pretty crazy, but this is one of those formations that it translates to game. The block sheds happen pretty quickly in game. Now, not as quickly all the time as the big nickel over G defense that I posted a while back. That one's more of like the way the block shed happens in that one. It's actually a little bit more of a glitch, and that's going to be getting patched. This formation is always block shedded very well. It's not instant every single time. There's no glitch to it, but what happens here is you see like number 91 on the outside, like he gets a good move, and then he kind of hits that spin move. Those type of moves and just getting off the block quick just tend to happen with this formation. It's not in a glitchy way, like I said, not like the big nickel over G. That is actually like a glitch the way that works. This formation, it just seems like the ends they just get off the blocks easy. They hit spin moves a lot more frequently, and you just want to see again, pretty much same kind of thing happened there. He got a good rush, and I think he spun inside. Let's go back to the replay, and all you want to do is you just want to use her over the middle. You see how he same kind of thing here. He kind of gets a little initial rush to the outside and then spins back. And then you see the other guy, Campbell here, was coming free at the last second as well. It's just something that happens with this defense. With this defense, how I look at it is, this defense gives you what I would call a realistic block shed. Whereas the big nickel over G, they block shed literally the exact same way, literally the exact same timing, almost every time. And there's, there are ways that you can block it, but it happens the exact same way. What this defense does to me is it gives you more of a realistic, real-life block shed. And what I mean by that is in real life, more times than not when a QB, he hikes the ball, he's in his pocket or whatever, he doesn't have 4 or 5 seconds to stand in that pocket. He's got about, a lot of times, 2.5, 3 seconds, and someone's coming to hit him. And that's kind of what this defense gives you. It gives you a realistic block shed. It's not, a 2-second flat block shed every single time, but more times than not, within about 3 seconds, it'll get to you, but it's realistic because that's kind of how it happens in real life. So if you're not making quick reads or checking it down, you're going to get sacked. So that's why this one's not really glitchy. It's just, like I said, it's realistic. Now, again, if you're like worried about the flats, well, you shade underneath. Wire triangle down on the right stick. And so if we were to try to throw a quick pass to the flat now, you would see that, he's all over that. Now, if we were to run it the way we just ran it, I'm not going to run the whole setup here. Just want to show you the cloud flat out there. Now, if we threw it now, we'd be able to get at least a little bit of yards. See, we got about 6 because we didn't shade underneath. So that's just an adjustment you have to make. If someone's hitting you to the flats every time, well, then you're going to want to shade the defense underneath and kind of play cat and mouse with them. Now, another thing you can do if you want to drop even extra coverage is you can take one of these defensive tackles and you can drop them into a spy. Now, what that's going to do is give you more coverage. You're going to have 8 on the field. The spy is going to, kind of, where this safety is bailing out to go back deep, the spy is going to kind of fill in right underneath him. So, watch what happens here. But you'll still, a lot of times, still get that same block shed. You see, whereas now this is where this formation could be maybe seen as a little glitchy. With a lot of formations this year, if you do a 3-man rush, you don't get good block shed typically. Whereas in years past, you still could. This is one of the few formations that even if you're only rushing 3, you can get a good block shed. And you see, it's kind of that same thing. He rushes outside and he spins back in. And it's going to happen like that a good bit of the time. But like I said, it's not too fast in the sense that, you only have 2 seconds every single time to get the ball off. Sometimes he will get blocked. Sometimes he will get there, but it's in a realistic amount of time. Now, like I said, you would just use either of these yellow zones over the middle. It's really up to you how you want to do that. I really wouldn't adjust too crazy out of this. Like I said, I would shade down if I was worried about the flats. I would maybe sometimes drop this guy into a spy. Maybe if you're expecting something, like if you want a cross man or something, if you're expecting X to run like a slant, maybe you man this guy up on X or something like that. But you always want to at least have one guy over the middle. You don't have to get too crazy when it comes to adjusting out of this defense because it's gonna for the most part, the stock coverage out of this for the most part is gonna be pretty much all you need. And what else is good about this is that by having these 2 guys on the outside inverted, you cannot throw one-play touchdowns on this. Whereas if we were in like a typical cover 3 or even a regular cover 2 without having this guy in the middle, there would be one-play touchdown opportunities. A regular cover 2, if you don't drop a guy back, you can bomb them down the deep middle on certain plays. With cover 3s, the way a regular cover 3 sets up, there's so many different ways you can one-play touchdown. So by having those outside deep blue zones inverted, it pretty much eliminates any possible one-play touchdown threat, which is really good out of this. Now, in terms of stopping the run, 4-6 is supposed to be good at stopping the run, but since the run's kind of easy now, things like stretch plays and things of that nature can work efficiently on this, so you kind of have to play it by ear. If you're playing someone that just wants to like spam stretch plays, you might not want to run this unless it's a passing situation. You might want to, go to a 3-4 or a 4-3 to better contain his stretch rather than, trying to run this every single down. But if they're more in passing situations, you should be good money. Now, you also can run the regular cover 3. Like I said, the only downfall of this is you don't have those outside guys inverted. It is, okay to just switch it up. Have the curl flats on the field if you like curl flats. Just kind of give them a different look, but I wouldn't run this too much because unless you invert the outside guys, you're making yourself kind of vulnerable to getting bombed. I'd rather just stick in the cover 2 version because once you drop this guy deep, you kind of essentially have the same thing already. The only thing is you don't have the curl flat zones, but the curl flat zones, I mean, they're not the greatest zone in the world anyway, but even if you want to put them on the field, you can playmaker them or hot route them, whatever you want to call that. You can put the curl flats out there like so. So, I mean, that's really up to you. But in my opinion, I would stick to that. Now, you can also, if you want to get a little crazy, you can mix in like cover 1 hole. And again, this is just something you would mix in because the cover 2 is what you want to really stick in. But the great thing when you have like I said, plays that get that good type of block shed is that you can run different coverages and still know that you're going to get close to that same pressure every time. So like I said, we can go drop a spy here, and then, we can use this guy. Let's say we use the 3 receiver hook zone, and now, we're in a man situation, but you're still, look, again, you're getting that same block shot. That outside guy is always going to pretty much do that same move. He's going to get to the outside and spin back inside. It allows you enough time to make a check down or make a read, but by switching up the coverage, that's when you kind of catch your opponent off guard. If he's seen the cover 2 the last 10 plays, and then he's kind of maybe getting a feel for how to, where to hit you, where to throw the ball, and then all of a sudden you go to a cover 1, even if some things are open, like you see the out route there on the left, the out route got open. The out route's open on the sideline, but if he's not expecting man and he's not looking right at that, he might freeze up for a second because he's expecting cover 2, but you're not giving him cover 2, and then boom, you get that same block shed back to the inside. So, you know, the 4-6 normal in general is just a good formation. Like I said, any formation that you can get good block shed out of is always a plus because it allows you to play max coverage while knowing that your opponent's not going to have all day to throw, and, you know, you'll be able to, you know, put a little bit of, you know, that pressure on them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.